Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to American Government Class with Mr. Weckbaugh. It is Wednesday, Hump Day, November 25th, 2020. A very important Hump Day because it's the last day of the class because we have Thanksgiving break tomorrow. Wha-cha! That's what I'm talking about. No school for the rest of the week. So let's get this class on its way so you can get it over with and into your wonderful count them, 1, 2, 3, 4-day weekend. We've got, like I said, an easy class. We're going to have a short class, a little bit of work, but the video is going to be short. We're going to hit you with a 5-minute review, as always. We're going to talk about federal office holders today. That's going to be our lesson today. We're going to learn what those words mean, who they are, learn all about them. After that, got a weekly review quiz. Gotta do it. Gonna be a short one, 10 questions, maybe 13. That's really not short. Don't know why I told you it was short. It's gonna be the same kind of quiz it always has been. Although you guys did have a short one the other week, so, give me a break here. But I gotta give it to you. We gotta get you quizzed. Make sure you're learning this information. After that, I'm gonna hit you with the assignment and the attendance question, which is probably gonna be just the answers to your quiz. And we'll get you onto this break, all right? So, without further ado, 5-minute review. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to do today's 5-minute review in the same way that we did it last class, where we go over last class's assignment. So, what you'll see is the assignment that I sent you a little bit late in the day for the important clauses of the Constitution. In red, you'll see the answers. So, remember, we were going to state where in the Constitution this clause was located and explain it in our own words. So, the first one we did on the board in the lesson. The Establishment Clause says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. We found that in the First Amendment. And basically what that says is America won't have a national religion. If you are an American, that doesn't mean you have to be a Christian or a Catholic or Jewish or Buddhist or Islamic. We have no national religion. The second one is also found in the First Amendment, and it's called the Free Exercise Clause. They're actually both part of the same sentence. The ... dots separate them, and the Free Exercise Clause says that everyone is free to be their own religion. Basically, these two go together to give you that freedom of religion, saying if you're American, you won't have to be a specific religion, and you get to be whatever religion you want to be, or don't want to be if you don't want to be religious. That is the Free Exercise Clause. Think of it as you are free to exercise whatever religion you choose. Next is the Full Faith and Credit Clause. It says that full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. Now, if you did your research correctly, you found that this was in Article 4, Section 1 of the Constitution, which makes sense because it's talking about states. And we know from our memory cues that the 4th article of the Constitution talks all about states. And basically, in our own words, this means that states must recognize other states' laws and rulings as valid or legit. Meaning, if you get married in California, Arizona has to be like, yeah, that marriage is legit. And to go on a darker note, if you are a criminal or a felon in California, Arizona will consider you a criminal or a felon as well. They'll say, hey, we give California all the faith and credit that they basically said you are a criminal, and they did a good job. We respect what they had to say and the proceedings that they had. So we are going to consider you as such in our state as well. Next is the Supremacy Clause, which says this Constitution and the laws of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land,
and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Now remember, when you see the ... that just means it's skipping over a little bit or it's going to continue on somewhere. Right here, since it's in the middle of the sentence, it means we're skipping over some words. But if you did your research correctly, you found that this was in Article 6. And maybe you didn't even have to do your research because, again, from our memory cues, we know that the Supremacy Clause is basically Article 6 of the Constitution. And what that means is that the Constitution is the highest law in the land. It is supreme. And the judges in every state, from California to New York, have to follow the Constitution no matter what. Excuse me. The next was the Due Process Clause. And the Due Process Clause says, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. That is found in the 14th Amendment, and it says that no person can have their rights taken away from them without a fair system. Now, this is important because you can certainly have your rights taken away from you. You can have your right to liberty taken away. You can have your right to life taken away. If you commit a crime bad enough, they can throw you in jail and in some states give you the death penalty. Those take away your rights, but they cannot do that without giving you due process of law. And that's what a fair system is. That means that you will have a lawyer. You will go in front of a judge. You can have a jury of your peers, and you will have a fair and speedy trial. We'll talk about some of these when we talk about the Bill of Rights in the next classes. But this is very important. You can have your rights taken away, but it must be within a fair system. If not, that is going against due process. And then finally, the Equal Protection Clause states that nor shall any state deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the law. This is also in the 14th Amendment. It is known as the Equal Protection Clause, and basically it says everyone is protected and considered equal under the law. This means no matter your skin color, no matter your gender, no matter how much money you make, no matter what religion you are, no matter who you love, you are considered equal under the law. Now, these two clauses are very important because they're part of the 14th Amendment, which was one of the 3 amendments that was passed after slavery ended in the United States. So this all has to do with everybody being considered equal and not having one race or one group of people be more respected or more legal in the eyes of the law. This was your assignment. Hopefully that explains everything that we did last class, and that sums it up for our 5-minute review.
Excellent job, guys. As always, 5-minute review, squashed. Done. No mas. Today's lesson, we said we were talking about federal office holders. That's what we're going to learn about today. And you guys are going to do most of the work again. But first of all, let's figure out what the heck I'm talking about here. Federal office holders. Let's break it down word by word. Federal. We know what that means. We know federal. Anytime we see that, we're talking much bigger than state level. We're talking national. The entire nation, the United States, a much larger area than just a state of Arizona. Remember what we learned last week with federalism. There's state governments that are small and have their own rules. And then there's the national federal government, which is the entire USA, and they have rules for every state and all the people in those states as well. Office holder, a little bit tricky. That's a little bit of a different one. Basically what an office holder is, for our purposes, we're going to say an official government worker. They hold an office. So think of holding an office as similar to holding a job. All right? If you're a federal office holder or just an office holder, you currently are in charge or have a specific job. Doesn't mean you're going to have it forever. You may only have it for a certain amount of time. That's what an office holder is, an official government worker who's just got a job, a very specific job. So when we put the two together, we're talking about people in the United States who have an official job or a worker for the United States government. What are some examples of this? Well, I can tell you the most famous one you guys probably already know. The President of the United States is a federal office holder. He holds the office of President. He is a national, the United States President. He is a federal office holder. Another example would be senators. Now remember, we do have state senators, but those are smaller. A federal office holder is going to be a United States senator. And then one more for good measure. We have representatives. From the House of Representatives. And just like senators, there are state representatives, but that's a state office holder. We're talking about a United States, a federal office holder, the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, these aren't the only ones. There are certainly more, and you're going to learn about those today. And here's how you're going to learn about them. This morning, I emailed you this sheet. Mine is gold. Yours probably showed up white. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at this puppy. That's what yours look like, at least the front page. You're going to fill out all of these boxes today. Every single one of these boxes, you're going to put information in there. The first two are all about the legislative branch. The first two columns, I should say. The second is all about the executive branch, and the third is all about the judicial branch. Yes, I know. Mr. Weckbaugh, we can't see you right there. Don't worry, I'm going to put this piece of paper up later as well. But there you go. The first two are all about the legislative branch, the Senate, and then you have the House. Then you have the executive branch and the judicial branch. It's hard to do that. It's all backwards. You're going to fill out all those boxes with the correct information. Now, how are you going to do that? I'm glad you asked. Right after I post this exact picture, I'm going to post 3 different packets of information. Boom. This packet, which is in pink, is on the legislative branch. The second one, the executive branch, also 2 pages. And then the third one, the judicial branch. Each one of these are 2 pages long, very easy reading. You're going to read those 2 pages for the legislative branch, and then you're going to fill out the legislative branch section. Then you'll read the 2 pages on the executive branch. Fill out the executive branch section. Then you'll read the 2 pages on the judicial branch. Good job. You got it. And you'll fill out the judicial branch section. All right? That is going to be your assignment for today. We'll get it out of the way now. That is your assignment. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to post those to the video right now, okay? Go ahead and do that assignment. Once we're done with that, then we'll meet back here for your weekly review quiz. All right?
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the sheet that you will be filling out today. Of course, if you cannot print this out, you can create it yourself just using pencil and paper. I have also sent this to your email along with the reading this morning, just in case these are a little blurry or hard to see. You'll just be filling out this first page today, all of these boxes, and I've given you an answer right here so you can kind of get an idea of what's going to be required for you. For example, in this row, you're going to be putting the title of the leaders, and the leader of the executive branch is the president. Then in this row, you'll be telling me how many people hold the office of Senate, how many people hold the office of House of Representatives, how many people hold the office of the president and vice president, and then finally, how many people hold the office of a Supreme Court justice. That's what you'll do for all of these boxes, and you'll get all of the information from the reading in the next few pages. Here is page 1 of the reading for the legislative branch. And feel free to pause these so that you can read them and get all of the information. Here is page 2. Here is page 1 of the executive branch. Here is page 2. And finally, here is page 1 of the judicial branch. And here is page 3. Now again, all of these were actually emailed to you today. They just won't be in this color because they weren't printed on gold and pink paper. It's going to be same information just with a white background. Feel free to use that if you would like to instead. All right, ladies and gentlemen, got you down here at the desk with the board erased for the weekly review quiz time. I'll go ahead and I'll let you know now if you want to hit pause real quick and do a little last minute studying. I would definitely study your clauses of the Constitution and your principles of the Constitution work that we did over the past couple classes. I have a feeling there's going to be quite a few questions on that. All right, are you ready? Are you ready? Question number 1. Well, number your paper. 1 to 10. I'm assuming your paper is numbered 1 to 10. Do we want bonus questions today? I'm feeling thankful for y'all. I think it's Thanksgiving break time. I think we should give some bonus questions, as always. Write down 3 bonus questions, and let's do the darn thing. Question number 1. How many articles to the Constitution are there? Remember, the Constitution's a rule book. How many articles are there in this rule book? Looking for a number. Number 2, how many amendments to the Constitution are there? Still looking for a number here. Remember, an amendment is a change or an addition. How many times have we changed or added to the Constitution? Question number 3, which principle of the Constitution states that people have the power? It's basically what it means. That principle says people have the power. Remember, that's going to be on this sheet, your principles of the Constitution. Number 4, which principle says that the judicial branch of our government can review any law or any order and claim that it is unconstitutional, therefore striking it down and making it void? Which principle says that? What principle is that one? Number 5, which principle of the Constitution creates 3 branches of government, and they all have their own power? It kind of divides up the power amongst 3 branches. What is that principle? Number 6, which principle says that the government is not allowed to do whatever it wants, and that its powers are actually limited where the people's powers begin? Government can't do whatever it wants. The president can do whatever it wants. The government can't do that. Which principle is that? Number 7, which principle says that there will be state governments and then there will also be national governments? So we have the national governments to handle nation or national things, and then you have smaller state governments. You even have city governments underneath that. What type of system is that? Or which principle of the Constitution is represented there? Number 8, which principle states that each branch of government will have just a little power over the other 2 branches to make sure that all the branches remain equal? Which principle shows that? Number 9, which clause of the Constitution says everyone is free to have their own religion and to believe whatever you want to believe. Which clause is that? That was from last class. Should be fresh in the old noggin. All right, question number 10. Which clause of the Constitution says that everyone deserves to be protected by the laws equally, no matter their skin color, no matter their belief system, no matter their sex, no matter who they feel that they are, what they do? Everybody is protected equally by the law. Which clause of the Constitution states that? All right, and now your 3 bonus questions. Bonus question number 1, or question number 11. Where would I find the supremacy clause in the Constitution? Where? Tell me where. That's all. Where is the supremacy clause located? Number 12. Which clause says no person can have their rights taken away from them without first going through a specific system that is very fair and equal to all? Which clause says no person can have their rights taken away without going through a fair system first? And your final question, where would I find in the Constitution both the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause? Where would I find those? There you go. That is your weekly review quiz. I hope you do well.
All right. Hope that wasn't too hard for you guys. That puts a wrap on our day today, okay? You've got an assignment and an attendance question. Very simple. Your assignment, number 1, you're going to complete that federal office holders chart. This front page, boom, fill in all those boxes. If you have to write it out in pen or paper, pen and pencil, pen or pencil on paper, there you go. That's fine. If you just do it typed in, that's fine. However you want to do it and take a picture of this chart filled out, fine with me as long as I get it and you guys get all the correct answers, okay? The second thing, which is your attendance question, in essence, send in your weekly review quiz answers. Send those in to me. They'll be a grade as well. Those are your 2 assignments / attendance questions. Those are the 2 things I need today before you can go on and start enjoying your Thanksgiving break. I am thankful for all of you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Some very well-deserved time off. We will see you guys again next week after the break. Take care.